Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and today I am in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're at the F1 event. My first time over at F1. I've been heading around and finding different interviews. I was fortunate that my good buddy Christopher Kai, he lined up one that I've been trying to get for a long time. We have Nikky Kho on the line today. Nikky, man, big fan for a long time. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about. I definitely want to talk about your company and the work that you're doing at Real AI Dynamics, and also maybe if you're okay with it, talking a little bit about the location that we're at today. Like, this is amazing. I know I just went on the tour and I'm just quite impressed with all of it. But just to, I guess, get us kicked off, maybe talk a little bit more about yourself and just your history as an entrepreneur and how you got started in tech.
Sure, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I got into tech when I was a teenager. My father was a computer science professor, and since I was 11, I was working in Silicon Valley. I was working at Intel, and then I turned 19, I started working at NASA. And I spent a lot of time just working in technology in startup as well, because my first company was when I was 12 years old. I built a website design company, and I was going door to door selling websites when people were saying, hey, what's a website?
Yeah.
And my dad, he eventually became the chairman and founder of DeVry Inc., which is the global division of DeVry, building campuses. And I also decided to get into education and technology. First, I got into education over personal growth. I built a global company, over 100 million in revenue, over 1,000 people working for us. We did live events, over 1,000 a year in 270 cities and 70 countries. And I personally taught in each of those cities. In fact, I did a tour of all of them in 6 months. I haven't stopped kind of touring though. Last year, I was in 150 countries. And this year, I taught 4 to 7 different events every single week in front of 30,000 people in person, 300,000 people online for different events. But this time, it's been through entrepreneurship and AI. So I got into this because I was a professor at Brigham Young University lecturing about entrepreneurship and marketing and all sorts of other universities. I was a guest lecturer like at Stanford and Wharton. And it was a lot of fun. And my students would come to me and they would say, I would like to create a company. And so one day I said, well, if you want to create a company, read this 1,000-page book.
Yeah.
It was a book that's not published, it's not available for sale. It was created by my mentor, Corey Rudel. And he created internetmarketing.com, but he died when he was about 30 years old, leaving behind a wife and 2 kids, but he also left behind a $130 million business that he built over about 5 years. And I was so impressed by that. And the rapid iteration process of building a business is something that I've always been super fascinated with. But I don't like the idea of teaching unless I'm actually doing. So I said, read these 1,000 pages. I gave it to 20 students, 10 people read it. And if you do that, you can move to Las Vegas for a month and live in this house we're in right now. It's a 10-bedroom house. I call it the Trellis Venture Studio Tech Startup House Las Vegas, because I've also done one in Hawaii and other cities as well. And this was our first one. It was 100% free to participate. And we had 10 entrepreneurs, and they would be given tasks. I wrote a 150 task list, and I said, you have a few rules. 1, no dating. 2, your entire life belongs to me except you get 1 day off, Sunday if you want to go to church. 3, you do nothing but a new business from scratch. And 4, you can't spend more than $5,000 in the red. And the schedule was you would start off every day with a daily huddle talking about what it is that's the most important task that you had as your priority that you accomplished the day before.
So like that's day by day. So every single day
for 30 days in a row.
Man, this sounds like a formula for success in anything.
It's very structured.
No dating, stay for like all this is structured. Go ahead.
If you put your attention on that one thing that you really have as a focus, then you're more likely to accomplish that than not. And I think there was a great book called The One Thing that was just on that one simple principle. That and Developing Atomic Habits, which is another great book. We provided our different entrepreneurs in residence various books, resources. We gave them 50 entrepreneurs to mentor them. And I also did 30 minutes of one-on-one coaching with each entrepreneur each day. On top of that, though.
Every day.
Yeah,
so that's a significant investment of your time as well. Like that.
Yeah, well, I wanted to prove that from 8:30 to 5:30, I was focused just on them. Then we'd have dinner. And then after that, I would actually do the task list myself.
Oh, okay.
right before I go to bed. So they'd have the whole day. I'd have 2 hours a day to do my own tasks. Because some of these tasks are kind of intimidating. For example, write a 200-page book. You know, that alone sounds like it could take 30 days. Or what about making a video commercial? Write a business plan with a feasibility study. Reach out to 50 potential clients and establish a relationship with one of them that leads to business and sales.
Yeah.
Reach out to influencers, at least 20 of them with at least 10,000 followers, and get on a podcast.
Yeah.
Make an industry level event and speak at it and get at least one sale. Now, any one of those things could take 30 days.
And all these lists that you came from, that came from that book, or is this from
Now, these
your
are tasks that
That's from
I
things
was
that
inspired
you
to create
iterated
from the book, but
yeah.
I created these tasks myself.
Wow. Was that in reflecting from like your career?
These are
like
things that
being
I personally
yeah,
knew
that's what I mean,
that
like,
I had to do. And as a result of that, that task list of like say 6 or 7 tasks alone is what they do it not in 30 days, but that's a task if they do all that in just one day. Which sounds impossible. With AI though, it's possible.
Yeah.
And that's why before even doing anything, they got one bonus day where the first day they just did an 11-hour AI workshop with me going over how to do each of these things with AI. And as a result of that, out of those 10 entrepreneurs that participated in the program.
How long was that, by the way, the program?
30 days.
30 days, yes.
30 days. It was starting on the day after Christmas, December 26th of 2023, and ended on 26th of January 2024. So that was less than a year ago. Right now it's November 22nd, 2024, right?
Yeah.
So
the results, like
the results, all 10 entrepreneurs got over $1,000 in revenue. And not just $1,000 in revenue, $1,000 in net profit. Half of them made over 10. One made over 100 grand. So I think that's been pretty awesome. And half the companies are tech companies, which means that in 30 days, you're not going to finish the final event of finishing your technology in just 30 days. They'd have to do consulting plus the technologies or a hybrid solution.
So they're also getting really the tools to survive. And
the tools to survive, and more importantly, the mindset.
Yeah.
See, the most common thing that people in Silicon Valley are told is to go through this standard iteration process of seeing what's possible, building an MVP, doing red testing, which is to try to do penetration testing to make the model do something that you're not supposed to have it do, the software buggy. Yeah. And then you put it in front of customers and you do a beta test, alpha test, beta test, and go to market.
All of which you're talking about does not happen in 30 days. Like that's
Well, what we do is do the exact opposite. The first step you do is actually get in front of customers.
Wow.
The first step you do is you sell the customers on funding your projects by buying your product and service, and you start off with a consulting plan, you build a technology about it.
So if you can't settle it, maybe don't make it?
So basically the most important thing is to not build a product about what you think other people's needs are. Instead, you need to find out what the needs are and then build your product and service around that. So what people would do is they'd approach people and say, hey, what are you interested in building? What are your biggest needs? Then you provide technology integration or solution. Maybe it's a $1,000 to $3,000 solution. Then it turns into a SaaS project with the back end and technology. Now, not all the companies that came here are technology companies. We had one person who had a marriage and family company. We had another person who had a defense contracting business, another video production services. So the same process works whether you're doing technology or any other kind of business as an entrepreneur. And then eventually it turned into a coaching program where people ended up getting to also live in Hawaii. And it was like a $25,000 a month program, $5,000 a week. And we made it so it was a little bit more flexible. You could take some time off, go to the beach, go hiking, you have a life. It was more holistic. But still, we always want to do like wellness. I found that the best way to lead, and this is a mistake that I made in the past, was to not build a business that was focused on Christ-like leadership. So it doesn't mean you have to believe in Christ, doesn't mean you have to be a Christian. Christ-like leadership just means you have kindness, compassion, empathy, and you're building a culture of people working together with wellness and holistic growth as a focus. So every single day, people would do things like meditation, breath work, yoga, gratitude journaling, and that's where you start every day. So to focus on a good wellness, because if you have clarity in your mind and your heart, you're more likely to focus.
Would you say that the participants already had a modicum or a bit of that in them already, or is that kind of
most people didn't even have experience with any business. Some of them had no experience with coding. In fact, we had people who had massive pivots. One person came here, they wanted to be a book publisher, ghostwriting, teach about sleep habits. And they ended up learning so much about AI that they became Python programmers, they built integrations, now they're doing AI consulting, or maybe they're doing data cleanup services. So it's pretty fast, especially in this day where AI can do a lot of the coding for you, and in fact, you could even take your code, put it into some kind of Python compiler, get a bunch of bugs, put it back in ChatGPT, say, hey, fix this, and then your software could be created. You can even use things like bolt.new, where it'll show you the code while developing entire CRMs, websites, and interfaces. We actually show people demos about how you can do these things with AI tools. In fact, AI just has so many practical applications, and it's been around for the longest time. Most people just didn't know the business use cases. Most people don't realize that even services like ChatGPT was generated within Google by Ilya Sutskever. And he was in charge of their special projects. And when he showed Google, hey, check out these cool tools, Google said, well, this is a silly tool that just predicts what the next word's supposed to be. How can I use this game? Why don't you do something else? And he left and created OpenAI and ChatGPT with his team. And the same thing happened when our instructors went to MIT. They're like, wow, we had no idea there was all these business use cases. And the most important thing about AI isn't understanding that AI exists. I mean, AI has been around for the longest time. My dad, he went to university in the 60s, and AI was still a thing. Now, you have a situation where you now have the practical understanding of what AI can do with generative AI becoming popular. And it's understanding what's possible, understanding good business. Because in order for AI to work, there's three simple things you need. One is you have to have a good AI model. You have to have a good technology. The second thing is you have to have a good understanding of business processes. And it's often not the documented processes in the business that needs to be optimized. Optimize a bad process, you're just going to be increasing the amount of mistakes you have. And the third is you need to have a good strategic mind and perspective. I call it the artistic gaze. You have those three things together, you have a good AI model, good tech, and something that's going to improve your operations. If you're missing any one of those three simple things, you're out of the game.
Actually, I think that's a good transition. So talk a little bit more about your company and like what you're currently working on.
So what we do is we do AI education for businesses. We'll do events, we'll do boot camps, people come to the tech house. They live in the tech house for 30 days, they go through the program. But that's just the first part of the business. The second part is we have an AI app lab and an AI robotics lab. We'll build custom software of any kind using AI, and also we'll build all sorts of things like wearables, computer vision technology with cameras, well, all sorts of things that require engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, as opposed to just software development. And we'll do this for enterprises of all size. For example, for the new properties, we built AI videos. We did lead generation. We did lead scoring, marketing generation, and creatives. They had a system where they had all sorts of outsourcing of sales to brokers. And they wanted to bring it internally. So we helped them build chatbots that could talk to people on their website and also make phone calls and all sorts of things like that. And we do this for customers for any kind of solution. It could be pricing models. I know we have one client that just from simple price changes of just $1 could increase their net value, their net profit, their bottom line by $15,000 to $20,000 a day.
Wow. That's significant. And so for your vision for this going forward, like what do you see next with this? I mean, and getting back to like your background, I mean, come on, you started at NASA when you were 19. So AI, this is like, to me, you're a kid in a candy store. Like this is like everything that's like this pinnacle going forward. Like what's next for you? Like how do you see all this playing out?
So every single time I launch a tech startup house, I launch my own venture. So I've launched 80 companies, and one of the companies is Raid Voice. It's a voice chatbot service. Another is Real AI Dynamics. Another one I'm launching is called SmartFile, which is kind of like a combination of iCloud plus AI, because instead of paying $1 per month for, say, 100 gigabytes, I could do the same thing for terabytes. And that's all through vectorization of data. And then you can also talk to your data, say, hey, give me 3 pictures of me hanging out with a cat. Something like that, and the data pulls the data for you. You know, pulls the information, shows the images. You also talk to the data, like, hey, I had all these reports. Tell me what happened in these reports. Kind of like knowledge bases. We also love working with all sorts of fascinating clients. For example, we do all sorts of fun marketing videos and creatives. We also built something called AI Selling Systems, which is both an AI education platform and an AI social media marketing agency. But it's not just that; it's also building it for education resources. For example, one of our clients is the Dalai Lama, and we built an AI digital avatar software program that allows you to take the Dalai Lama and you can upload 30,000 hours
Wow.
of his content, all his writings, and make it so you can talk to him. And so these are things that we're also planning to build for Martin Luther King III and all sorts of stuff. Now these are projects that are long-term projects. Of
course.
But we
wow,
still,
that's amazing. So just thinking about like the significance of that somebody could actually interact and with the Dalai Lama and some of the knowledge that was taught, and that interaction and that connection.
Totally, and
That's amazing.
And anyone could do this. This doesn't just have to be big projects.
Sure.
I show people how to make these digital avatars in free programs in just 1 minute.
Yeah. I've seen them, and I've seen a couple people but I'm like, do I really want that person to have an avatar? I don't know always, but,
no, if you go to
some of them are like this one though, and some of these other ones when you think about this body of knowledge, it's interesting.
Sure, if you go to social media of Real AI Dynamics, or if you go to like our website, you could actually talk to like video chatbots of me.
Yeah.
And the latency is pretty much gone. And I think that the cool thing is, a lot of people are concerned about deep fakes. There's a lot of great deep fake detection software, but more importantly, it allows you to develop content with your marketing team. Let's say you don't have time to create all sorts of amazing podcasts like what you're doing, or if you don't have time to create social media posts, you can have it scripted out in your digital avatar. It can say all this stuff for you. And that allows people who are also scared of being on camera to kind of get out there and also take their voice, their image, and add some life to it. Now, it's also an art to create a digital avatar that doesn't sound robotic. You have to have a lot more energy going into it, even to the point where it sounds kind of overly animated, and you're like, hey, how's it going? What's going on? And then at least it does not talk like a robot. Because what happens when you do that, AI will downgrade the animation and make it kind of monotone. You have to look at the camera. There's all sorts of tactics. But we train people on the art of things to captivate attention. And we've seen great results. We've seen people that have increased their lead generation 3x using some of our sequences. Other people have increased their social media conversion to get more opt-ins to our newsletter by 20%. And we've also seen that people go to, say, some AI software, like we use something called Letterman AI and other things like that, you'll get conversions on open rates and click-through rates way higher than the average. And it's especially useful since the April update on Google, which has transformed. You might notice the email service provider industry is doubling their rates, and that's because of the recent slap, where Google is now making it more difficult to hit the inbox.
All right, Nikky, so last question on my end. I want to play this scenario because my audience has been hearing me talk about this for a long time, by the way. So Adam AI, I have over 6,000 interviews out there. So now what I'm thinking about is, you said you put all this into this avatar. So in theory, like, we're already there. Like, I could put all these videos through, run it through, obviously not me personally, but get it done, right? And I could create an avatar of all of the content that we've had, and it'd be like talking to me or doing an interview with me.
Yeah,
over 6,000 interviews. So there's quite a bit of content, and it would have some type of feeling of like realness, right?
Absolutely. You could connect all your interviews into a knowledge base and chat with it. We create those all the time.
Man, that's fun. If somebody's watching this or listening to this, Nikky, how do they follow up? How do they learn more? How do they follow you on social media, your website, all that good stuff?
If you're interested in learning more about what I do, go to nikkykho.com. It's NIKKYKHO.com. And if you go to the top, there's some great videos, and there's also a great newsletter called Why AI. And there, people will get updated on the hottest tools. I have 50 tools we use in our business every day. We replace them with whatever's the newest tool. We also have a great WhatsApp community. And if you're interested in joining that, just subscribe to our newsletter and we'll send you a link.
Fantastic. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll put the links to all that in the show notes, so you can just click on it and head right on over. And speaking to the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Nikky, man, thank you for making time for me.
Yeah, thanks so much.